Z walks into the club, breezing through the security check with ease. Her mission is clear. She's there to take out several targets. On stage, Jen, a singer, is performing one of her hits live. As Z makes her way through the crowd, one of the men, seemingly the leader of a notorious gang, approaches her, trying to flirt. Z plays along just enough before telling him to clear the place. Moments later, she begins dancing with him, only to suddenly whip out a hidden sword and take him down in one swift move. Chaos erupts as Z engages in a fierce battle with the gang members, showcasing her lethal skills and taking them out one by one with precision and elegance. However, amidst the mayhem, a stray bullet strikes a liquor bottle, sending shards flying. Unfortunately, Jen, the singer, is caught in the crossfire. The glass cuts her face, causing her to lose her balance and fall, hitting her head hard. As a cruel twist of fate, her optic nerve is damaged, leaving her temporarily blinded. Though Z initially intended to kill Jen, witnessing the accident strikes a chord of compassion within her. Feeling a pang of pity, Z decides to leave Jen behind and exits the scene. In the next scene, two police inspectors, named Say and Jax, are having a chat in their car. Suddenly, a criminal jumps into a red BMW. As soon as the police start their car, the BMW collides with them. Inspector Say immediately jumps out and apprehends the suspect, who introduces himself as Coco. But before they know it, Coco breaks free, shoots Jax in the leg, and makes a getaway in his car. Say, with a sharp aim, manages to shoot Coco's car and makes him injured, causing him to lose control and flip over. Say quickly chases after him, but upon reaching the overturned vehicle, discovers that Coco is no longer inside. The pursuit continues on foot. During the chase, Coco tries several times to shoot at Say. In a desperate move, Coco takes a woman hostage, and when a bystander attempts to intervene, shoots and kills him. Feeling cornered, Coco then grabs a child as a shield. But with precision and determination, Inspector Say takes a decisive shot, taking down Coco and rescuing the child, bringing the dangerous ordeal to an end. In the vibrant underworld of Paris, Gobert, the city's notorious criminal mastermind, meets with Finn, the boss and employer of Z. Gobert is a hardened criminal, heavily involved in gambling, prostitution, murder, and drug trafficking. During their clandestine meeting, Gobert reveals to Finn that he has suffered a loss of $75 million due to a heist where his heroin shipments were stolen. He commands Finn to retrieve the stolen contraband, enlisting the help of his infamous hitman. In the subsequent scene, Finn informs Z about a club operation gone awry, where a girl survived the encounter. He orders Z to ensure the girl is silenced, no matter what it takes. Meanwhile, Inspector Say is scheduled to meet with Prince Majab bin Fahim. During their meeting, Say inquires about a heist carried out by criminals masquerading as customs officers who targeted the prince's private jet en route from Beirut to Paris. Prince Fahim feigns ignorance and denies any involvement, insisting he knows nothing of the incident and demands the prompt return of his impounded aircraft. Unbeknownst to Say, Fahim is in cahoots with Gobert and Finn. Z, following Finn's orders, adopts a fake identity and visits the hospital where Jen is admitted. Posing as an ambassador, Z plans to inject poison into Jen's IV. However, after a heartfelt moment where Jen mentions her mother and her desire to make amends, Z hesitates. A change of heart leads Z to stop the IV flow and spare Jen's life. Just then, Inspector C enters the room to speak with Jen, but she has no recollection of the shooter from that fateful night, claiming she remembers nothing after being blinded. Later, a nurse re-enters to reconnect Jen's IV. In a bold move to protect Jen, Z intentionally knocks the IV bag to the floor with a swing of her handbag, ensuring Jen's safety once more. After Z says goodbye and leaves, Inspector Say receives a phone call from a colleague who informs him that there is no record of someone with that name as an ambassador in their system. Although Say tries to track Z down, he can't find her. In the next scene, Z meets with Finn and tells him that Jen is an innocent girl who knows nothing and is currently blind. Finn, in a condescending manner, reminds her that he was the one who saved her from the miserable life she had, gave her purpose, and turned her into a professional assassin. He then casually mentions that it's fine if she doesn't want to kill Jen. Z instantly realizes that Finn has hired others to go to the hospital and finish Jen off. Z immediately springs into action. She identifies the car of the hired killers and, riding a motorcycle, skillfully maneuvers to knock out their driver and steer their vehicle off course, causing it to crash and buying herself some time to reach Jen and protect her. Meanwhile, Sei visits his colleague Jax, but suddenly, the people intending to kill Jen attack the hospital. Z engages with them, showcasing her incredible skills, ensuring Jen isn't hit by a single bullet. Inspector Sei also joins the fray, managing to take one of them down with just his hands, but they were wearing bulletproof vests and weren't killed. Z then rushes Jen to safety in a wheelchair. However, Sei draws his gun on her, but before long, the attackers return. Together, Sei and Z skillfully fend them off with their firearms. In a swift and unexpected move, Z knocks Sei unconscious and escapes with Jen. Sei eventually tracks Z down with the help of his colleagues. They discover that she regularly buys food from a particular diner at the same time every day. Sei manages to arrest Z and brings her in. In the interrogation room, Sei talks to Z in a relaxed manner, even sharing the meal Z ordered with her. While helping her solve a crossword puzzle, he shares a story about a time when he was negotiating with a criminal who suddenly shot him in the leg. To distract the criminal, Sei pointed at his foot and asked about the shoe size, which caught the criminal off guard, and he was shot by someone else. When his friend Jax arrived and claimed he hadn't fired, Sei realized it was Z who had saved his life that day. Later, Sei instructs his team to transfer Z to a holding cell. However, Z cleverly swipes a key from one of the officer's pants, unlocks her cuffs, and knocks them out. Using a long piece of fabric hanging between the stairs, she swiftly descends and escapes from the police station. Back home, Z takes care of Jen, tending to her needs. When Jen is asked about how she got involved with the criminal underworld, it turns out that her boyfriend, Coco, was the one who led her into crime. Jen recounts a story where Coco parked a van full of heroin in an unknown garage in Paris. Despite Z pressing for the location, Jen claims ignorance, saying she lied to Inspector Sei just to keep herself out of trouble. In the following scene, Z takes Jen to an abandoned church, her usual hideout, with the intention of killing her and asks Jen to sing for her. But Z can't bring herself to harm Jen, realizing she is innocent and can't go through with it. In the next scene, Inspector Sei discovers that some people, disguised as police officers, have planted drugs at his desk to frame him. As they try to apprehend him, Sei makes a run for it. In a daring escape, he attempts to descend using the same fabric Z used earlier. Though he's not as graceful as Z, he manages to get away. Meanwhile, Finn approaches Z, complaining about losing some of his best men. Z reassures him by lying, claiming she has already killed Jen, and advises him not to send anyone else to complete the mission. When Z returns home, she finds everything in disarray and Jen missing. She notices her fishbowl is shattered and rescues her fish, transferring it to another container. Checking her home security footage, she sees that some individuals forcibly took Jen away. Z then visits her favorite tailor, who informs her that Inspector Sei had come by looking for information about her and left his number for Z to contact him. Z meets with Finn again, but this time Finn has another demand. He orders her to kill Inspector Sei, threatening that if she refuses, he will kill Jen, whom he is now holding hostage. Finn, not taking any chances, sends another assassin to take out Z if she fails or refuses to kill Inspector Sei. Z, ever the quick thinker, calls Jax, who is visiting Sei, and asks him to hand the phone to Sei. Just as Finn's assassin is about to attack, she realizes she's been duped by a decoy doll. In that moment, Z takes a shot from another angle, delivering a perfect headshot. She also shoots Jax and tells Sei over the phone that Jax has been working for the criminals, especially Finn. In the next scene, Finn orchestrates an assassination during an event, ordering one of his hitmen to take out Gobert. As they offer Gobert a drink, they kill him, and Finn tells him just before he dies that he eliminates anyone who causes trouble for his operations. Later, Z and Sei are in a car with a gravely wounded Jax bleeding out. They press him for the location of the van full of heroin. Once he divulges the location, they drop him off at a hospital and leave. They head to the garage, take out the criminals, and hijack the van. With a flawless plan in place, Sei plants a remote-controlled bomb inside the van. Z then calls Finn, telling him they have leverage and can destroy his heroin shipment at any moment. She arranges a meeting, offering to trade the van for Jen. Finn arrives at the church to confront Z, but she surprises him by pulling a gun on him from behind, demanding Jen's release. Finn shows a video of Jen on his phone and engages in a struggle with Z, but she manages to overpower him. Sei, driving the van, takes out many adversaries to help Z, even shooting a grenade wielder, causing the grenade to explode in his hands. Z and Sei create an incredible action sequence, taking down numerous foes. Sei then detonates the van, obliterating Finn's assets. The battle spills into the church, where Z and Sei operate like a well-oiled machine, decimating their opponents. Another showdown begins as Juliet, another of Finn's assassins, and Finn himself confronts Sei. In a dirty move, Finn stabs Sei multiple times with a knife. Z, witnessing this, springs into action, performing acrobatics to take down several enemies. She wraps herself around Finn and lands a precise shot on him. Juliet, however, returns and engages Z in a fierce fight, but Z ultimately traps and snaps her neck. At that moment, Finn shoots Z from behind. Just when it seems all hope is lost, Z uses Sei's distraction tactic, asking Finn about his shoe size. This gives Sei enough time, despite his injuries, to slide a gun to Z. In the blink of an eye, Z shoots Finn in the head, killing him. They rush to Jen, who has been shot and injured during the chaos. Miraculously, Jen regains her sight. Z then goes to her favorite tailor to get her bullet wound stitched up and watches from a distance as Jen finally reunites with her mother. In the film's final scene, Inspector C is in the hospital, where he finds a phone hidden in his food tray left by Z. They have a brief conversation, with Z explaining it's a disposable phone, and she bids him farewell, hoping to meet again. Sei finishes the crossword puzzle for her, and they say their goodbyes. The film ends with Z's red scarf floating in the air, with a stunning view of Paris as the backdrop.